folks are still arriving, so that's all good. So just bear with me if I look a little bit distracted. It's because I'm trying to negotiate that. My name is Tammy Melody Gomez, and I am so happy to be here. It feels like since forever, that I have last seen you or hosted here, and it was actually just less than 30 days ago, but so much has happened since the third Saturday of July, namely, and I'll just say it real quickly here, and it doesn't have to be a big to-do, but 3 people in my immediate family tested positive for COVID. And it was a pretty stressful and intense time negotiating all of that. I was tested 3 times in 4 weeks and came up negative each time. So I'm thankful for that. But I was really, really frightened and in fear about how things would go with my brother, mother, and 12-year-old nephew. They're fine and healing and recovering, thanks to all your prayers and kind words with those that I shared about this. So I send blessings and prayers out to any folks that y'all might want to call in as someone to think about or to hold high in light. If you want to do that via chat or later when we might have a moment to speak out loud about those things. But yeah, it's been a month for sure, and I'm just really relieved and happy to be here, and so looking forward to it. It's like a brand new day every time I meet with you folks, the poets. It's like a brand new day and a moment to really show how we persevere and persist with our strong words and our happy, happy, healing, and recovering and resilient faces here. Yeah, we have some great poets lined up for today, and I just want to remind you that this is a monthly series. The Dando Poetry Series launched in November of 2020 to help meet a need that I perceived in our communities, and it's been really wonderful to host this every 3rd Saturday, except in May I had to change the date. So we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary in a couple of months, and there'll be a nice surprise about that I'll mention later. We record these sessions so that there's posterity and we have a record and documentation. These recorded poetry readings get transferred to my YouTube channel, where folks can freely access and enjoy and share links to those if they want. Or I don't remember which poem I read. I want to hear that again, or maybe there's something you really enjoyed that you want to see again. So they're all up on my channel if you ever want to revisit those. If you have an objection to being recorded, you feel free to turn off your camera or to keep yourself muted. That's your right, and I respect that. Excuse me. So we're going to start with, let's see, who do we have here with us today? I have a howling cat I have to address, and this is the time of day when he decides he wants to go outside. So I'm going to have to go let him out. But let's call up Paul Kennecke and just have you on deck, and I'll be right back.
Thank you.
That was witty about the shirt, Paul.
Yes, and I think I was inspired. I've got the shirt of 1,000 eyes here.
Aye. We're seeing eye to eye.
Oh, Paul Kennecke is a DFW-based poet, and I've been able to enjoy his work at a number of venues where we've crossed paths or shared the stage. Your beautiful partner, Reverie, was the featured poet last month, and I decided let's have y'all on separate months. So how about a reading of some of your work, Paul, and enjoy your time in the limelight. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tammy. And it's fun with the group we have here this evening. Some of you I've gotten to know so well virtually, that again, it's fun to do a reading together. It really moved me when you brought up the topic and the theme of transformation, and I struggled, and there was a lot of pieces that I had considered, and the two I ended up picking are from a time in my best friend growing up, Timmy, and I, and a book of poems that I did, and well, I felt I decided on this, and then I'll get to the poem. Is that I felt like it could set everyone else and the other poets up, because the characters in this are so crying out to be transformed. As we as best friends were trying to escape some terrible things that we went through together in childhood. So I'm gonna, without further ado, I'm gonna share the first poem. I tried on my father's pants. I tried on chuffskin and corduroy, polyester, chino, cotton, rayon. I tried on my father's pants and they were too long. I traced pictures of scorpions on graph paper and hid them in the miniature coin pockets of his jeans, folded laser tight. I tried on overalls and the onesies mechanics wear. I tried on costumes and starch, spells, spelling, poison, five-finger death touch curses, nunchuck training. Don't ask me what I do to make a living. Ask me what I do to make a life. I am the still blue figure, the dead lake, the terrible mirror, typing like a moon. I am the little boy waiting to grow 8 legs and a barbed tail, sting the sun and the hand that placed it there, make a desert of the sky. Thank you.
Wow. Ask me what I do to make a life. Nice. Do you actually say that when you meet people? Hey, what do you do for a living, Paul?
Isn't it tough when you're an artist, and you know that leads to so many other deep sigh questions, and especially of those of us that are truly following our muses and our spirits and our souls and trying to put those things ahead of capitalism.
Poets make dialogue interesting and sometimes complicated. They know my mom gets a little impatient sometimes.
I've been
Too many
known to
questions.
say,
why do you want to know?
I have written poetry and it is never written back. So we have to see if I get a return letter on that one of these days.
Would you like to read a second poem now, or maybe circle back later? Your call.
Right. I thought you'd let me know according to the flow. I'm ready, or I guess I had kind of expected that you'd circle back to me, but whatever you're feeling, happy to oblige.
Yeah, let's hear another. Let's hear another, because I'm just, it's acclimating to the voice, So
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Here we come. Buddy. Page. There we are.
Oh, and we like to invite the poets to share like how to connect with you, Instagram, social media, any books for sale, how to order them. So feel free to bring that up as well.
Thank you, and definitely through all the goods and the bads, I think Facebook is a great way to connect. So you can always get me there. Just had my 5th chapbook come out from Between Shadows Press, and soon to have my 6th book out. So yeah, I'd love anytime anybody wants to reach out to me on Facebook, I'd be right back with you. And this one again is from the Shoeless Timmy Newman Almost Martian Chronicles, my best friend and I. And this one is titled Fishing. Which parts of you are the permanent mistakes? My failure is tenured in the soured milk of its own disgrace. Timmy teaches me to share chunks of liver for the bluegill and the smallmouth bass, hooking and tossing his red and purple flowers of flesh through the green and yellow surface of our neighborhood lagoon. We gut our brother fish with a rusted Weeblo pocket knife, cooking out the pink with a found Bic lighter and fallen cinders from the sun.
Bravo, bravo. Thank you. Yeah, and Paul Kennecke, yeah, your name is right there on the screen on Facebook. You don't have a mystery Facebook handle, do you? It's basically
I didn't.
first
Yeah,
and
I
last.
didn't keep it correct. Yes, no mysteriousness.
What do you think of Paul's work? Paul Kennecke. Cheers. And we'll have to have you back to celebrate your, is it your 6th book coming that you said one just came out, and maybe we could celebrate that. We'll look at that. I can chat with you about that for future months.
Thank you. Thank you. Be happy to. Thanks.
So next up, thanks again, Paul, is Rob Rocha. And Rob, let's see. You've got some work for us today. What do you have?
Hi everyone. How are you? I'm so happy to be here. I just love Tammy, and I'm just so appreciative that she remembers me, and I'm just happy to be able to share, and it's more of a learning experience every time for me to hear you all. And I was especially happy to be here with Paul tonight. I met Paul and his lovely wife, I think at least 2 or 3 years ago at a Writers Garret event, and had never really been, seen or you since. And so when I saw you were going to be here tonight, I was especially thrilled. And then of course with Anna and everybody, and I'm looking forward as we do these things, and as I do these things a little more, to meet everyone and get to know everyone. And so just thanks a lot for allowing me to be here, Tammy. I appreciate it. So you had sent about the topic of transformation or change and those kind of things. And so I actually have a new work I wanted to share on that topic. It's called Begin Again. I'm gonna read it off my phone. It came without warning and thrashed the landscape of my life. I was an innocent bystander who became collateral damage, orphaned in an instant and shunned by those who profess to love God. I was raped by anger and pillaged by bitterness, so much so that my soul became promiscuous to the dark things around me. The vultures stripped me of all that was healthy in me and left my bones to rot in fields of dreams. I longed for empathy. I craved compassion and sympathy, some sign that there were others like me, people who cared about people. I was led into the wilderness, and after years of wandering, I began to realize that it was not a punishment, but rather an education. Class was in session, and God was the teacher. The lessons were difficult and sometimes too much to bear. I was discovering me, learning things that I could never possibly know, things that in their time could only be revealed. In my hands was a mirror, stained by years of tears and mud. I struggled to see myself in the cracks, but all I saw were Ezekiel's bones, alive and breathing, dancing, serenading me and saying, remember, remember, remember. In the distance, thunder rolled, and in the thunder, God's voice asking me, do you believe you can live again? I looked around, and for the first time in a long time, I began to see light and hope. Opportunities slowly began making their way to my doorstep, and possibilities abounded as far as my eyes could see. I could see a future, and it was bidding me to go. I drew in a long breath and answered God, shouting, yes, I will live again. It was the last breath I drew in the wilderness, and I exhaled as I crossed the boundary line from death to life. I became a Lazarus in a world that doesn't consider Lazaruses anymore. They only want you clean, calm, and perfect. For no one has the time to free you of your grave clothes and wash the stink of death away from your body. Few will give the effort to recognize, acknowledge, or believe that you are being renewed, reborn, and a living witness and testimony to the power of God and the influence of the mind. And of all the things I found in the wilderness, I found me and the will to begin again. And although I came out wounded, hurt, confused, and rejected by man, I had not been rejected by God. And that, above all things, is what gives me the greatest hope.
Wow, dando vueltas,
Dando
turning a new
vueltas.
page, beginning again. Thank you. Thank you for your witness.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Are those new shades, by the way, Rob?
No, ma'am, they're the same old glasses that
Okay.
I need, that I only used to use to read, and now I got to use them almost all the time.
I'm there with you, man. I'm there
Yes,
with you.
ma'am.
A
Yes, ma'am.
veces, para leer.
Yeah, yeah. And you said earlier when we opened that, you know, to as we went on, or maybe at the end, about, you know, asking to keep us enlightened and thoughts and prayers. I would ask you all to keep me in your thoughts and in your light. I have been having a rough battle this week with my type 2 diabetes, and I wasn't even sure earlier today if I was going to make it this evening, but I didn't want to miss it. But you know, that thing creeps up on you when you least expect it. And this week was a hard week, and so I'm feeling kind of groggy, but we're gonna make it.
Gonna make it.
Thank
Yeah, we're gonna make it
Yes, ma'am.
for sure.
Yeah.
You're adjusting your diet. I know that's sometimes a tough one when you're used to all those great enchilada plates, and I
Oh
know
my
you took me
gosh.
out for some great food on Jefferson
Remember
Street.
that one time? Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you can eat
Yeah.
that every day. It tastes good,
Yeah.
but you know, it can get to
Yeah.
us eventually.
Who would have thought of 53 years of that kind of diet would affect you, right? Anyway, so, but we're good. I don't know if you wanted me to share another one already, or
Please,
I
yeah,
have
please.
one. It's not as long. It's actually from my first and only book that I've put out so far, back in 2018, called Tamarindo Dreams. And this one is called Los Dos Arbolitos, which translates into the two trees. And actually, that was the name of a little restaurant that my wife and I went to one time, and I documented the little event here. So it's short, and I like to share it with you. It says, do you remember when we said goodbye in front of Los Dos Arbolitos? It was a moment to remember. It was the moment that I knew beyond the shadow of any doubt that I loved you. The sun was shining bright in your chocolate eyes, and I was collapsing on the inside, feeling that my emotions were visible to the world. Do you remember when we held each other in front of Los Dos Arbolitos? Until that moment, we had never said goodbye to one another. I felt like a child on the very first day of school, not wanting to let go of his mother's hand, heading into the unknown. You reassured, comforted, and encouraged me. You gave me a reason to live, love, and to return. Your love is spiritual at the core, for it has made me believe in God. I have not returned to Los Dos Arbolitos since we were there last, but do you remember? You told me that you loved me. You said that I was a good man and that you were proud of me. It was the moment that I knew, beyond the shadow of any doubt, that you loved me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Sending light and love your way, Rob,
Thank
for
you. Receive it.
for healing, and you know, just kind of sliding into that new way, you know, the healing way. I want to ask, do you know if those trees are still there?
Oh, well, it was the name of a restaurant.
Okay.
It was called, there's a song called Dos Arbolitos too, but that was a restaurant. And I had just met my wife. We had just started dating, and I was leaving for 2 weeks to do a class, to do a course. And it was the first time I had just started dating her. And I didn't want to leave because I said, man, I want to be gone for 2 weeks. Somebody's going to steal her in 2 weeks. And so I didn't want to go. And she said, no, you have to go. And that took place all outside there in the parking lot, where you know, she had my face in her hands and she said, you know, you're a good man and I'm proud of you. And I hadn't heard those words in a very, very, very long time. And so it made a profound impact. I wanted to document the moment. And so I'm glad I did. So, and 16 years later, we're still together. What? Que aguante. Thank you.
Of course. So next up, I want to share something. We're going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to share a piece that I recorded. So it's a little audio piece, and I'll play that. But I think I'm also going to try to type it on the screen. So it's for me, it's interactive. So here we go. And this is a piece that came to me because I was feeling really challenged and kind of affronted by a bunch of things coming at us at once. And this was back in March or April. And I definitely am thankful when I take the time to write these things down or record them, because later I find that they might help others. And these are like incantations, prayers, chants that you know, can be used and have work to do in the future, not just for me one time, but maybe for others into, you know, future days. So anyway, here goes. I'm going to share screen and let's see how this goes.
Interactive world premiere from Tammy Melody Gomez.
Akiba. Ask them for their help. Seek the help of your ancestors, the oldest ones, the ones so far, 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 far ahead, and yet seemingly so far back. They are the ones whose names you can't remember, or if you did, you wouldn't know how to pronounce. The language is different from the one you speak. Ask them for their help. They are the ones who are waiting and ready. They're the ones with the least amount of generational trauma. They are the ones who suffered and bled, who struggled and sought out the resources to stay alive, and they passed. Let them be the ones to help you seek out their help. They're behind you. They're sitting ready. They will stand for you. They will carry you. Reach out. How was that? Was it audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Little. It was subliminal, but it worked. Your typing is amazing. Your typing is artistic.
Yeah, typing a poem is one way to memorize it. So I don't have it memorized yet, but it was a visual. I wanted to give everyone a visual because it's a very soft spoken poem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm just happy to do that. Thank you. Thank you, Beatriz, for sure. They're always there. You know, they're kicking back on these celestial couches, you know, just kind of, you know, just hanging out, waiting for us. Like, hey, I think, you know, hey, kind of nudging you with the elbow. Hey, I think Tammy, your future niece or your future great granddaughter down there, she just called for you. Oh, okay, yeah. Let me go see what she wants. Oh boy, yeah. Call on the ancestors. They've got superhuman powers. They're beyond human. They're celestial spirit beings. And I know I call on my father, my paternal father, a lot. And I really believe that he helped us with our COVID family experience here recently. I really believe that he he put in a good word for us. Yeah. So next up, I want to, before we bring Ana Maria on, I want to ask Tom if you'd like to read a few pieces, please.
Thank you very much, Tammy.
Welcome, Tom. Welcome.
Very kind.
What you got going on lately?
So much. Started a new venue with Molly Eiley next to the new Quacks, which used to be Strange Brew, where we had a living venue until stage 5 with Jeffrey, who's here tonight. And this one's on Thursday. It's at Lazy Days Head Shop from 1 to 3, where we gather and whatever happens, happens. So this is on Menchaca, and next to Strange Brew, and there's a new bookstore opening up in September right next to that. So there's 3 possible venues right in the tiny mall near where New English Cafe used to be, you know, the old English Cafe where we did poetry all the time. But yeah, life goes on around the COVID, around the mountain, into the river, and washes us with ideas such as this one. Transformations. Friends I know have begun their endings, given away excess, forgiven their frenemies, resolved to release and flow into forevers as a process, not even just an end in itself. Some are so practical, made an art of leaving their ashes under trees or in an ergonomic bag. They are curious as to rites and rituals, ceremonies for release. Some have dictated their will while they're still alive to enforce it. They've made sure to support their survivors. They transform grief into just another process to be performed. I ask each of them, tell me, what is your true purpose in your life? The answer is diverse. For some, their family, others, their art, some, the act of love. Life is a variety garden of flowers, weeds, and plants, as is their transitioning. Some began when they took their first breath. There is no end to life, they say, even when we practice our petite mortes, little deaths. So every night when Austin is not cloud covered and the night is bright and clear, I give each star a name of those now gone from here. Patricia Fisk shines brightly, as does Deb Akers too, and Herman Nelson always comes shining through. Susan Bright, John Berry, Barbara Carr, Dr. Byron Cosen shine on, as do all those elders of the Austin Poetry Society's fame. Here's Dr. Marvin Kimbrough, beaming with Floyd Freeman and Ali Owasi. You may say there are more visible stars than there are parted poets, so I add the living to these illuminations. Elsie Cogswell, Chuck Taylor, Connie Williams, Sue Littleton, Richard Loringer, Tammy Gomez, Kay Abikaled, Bob Mudd. This keeps the light burning above with never-ending connections of affection, respect, and love. So in each poet's full moon night, I'm remembered of their living light. How do you name your poet stars each night? That's for endings, and this one's for beginnings, the song of new beginnings. I begin again each morning as if new were now and you were new too. I treasure this uniqueness, want to believe at last, but a new always interrupts, and I have to begin again. I trust this moment now, even if it's not new, more deja vu. How do you feel? Is this new for you too? When I first toured America, I was taken La Brea tar pits, where we stared at black tar ancestors, which puzzled me. Was this American civilization? So I was taken in a Rolls Royce to a wrestling match, which seemed fake as TV ads. Then they took me to a TV talkback show where the killers of Marilyn Monroe shared their truth. I find this comic book culture strange, like pay-per-view, but at least like huge American supermarkets, it seems to be new. Like every love seems new until the gloss wears off and then you learn the truth of the person who enamored you. First appearances, deceptive, true, like a manuscript requiring editing. You learn love mostly after the new beginnings. The advertising says true, everything is new, new, new. CDs, pay-per-view, forget the content, remember the truth. Only watch the new, new, new. Nothing else will ever do. That's why we plagiarize. In truth, nothing old will ever do. Wait until 2022. I begin to see repetition injuries, hence the desire for what is new. World Wars 1 and 2, Bush 1, Bush 2, Iraq 1, Iraq War 2, until the gloss wears off. There's nothing new under the sun. Even nuclear warfare has already been done twice. Thanks for listening.
Oh my God. You know, when they say, am I crying? You're crying. I'm like, am I laughing and crying or crying or laughing? Dang. You took us everywhere with that one, Tom.
I'm so glad.
World War II has already been done twice.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Nuclear
But I think,
war.
okay, what was that, Alice?
Nuclear war has already been done twice.
Yeah, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and all Hiroshimas and Chernobyls.
I don't know, Richard Loringer, if you want to direct that line you typed to Tom. Tom, we might need you to read that list again, because apparently some of us didn't know that we lost. Well, I knew
That's
we lost
okay.
Susan Bright. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, Susan
just-
Bright's gone, long gone. We did
I
a
know.
big remembrance at Barton Springs and threw rose petals on the waters. But she went in a week, you know, a rapid pancreatic cancer. But she was significant. She was like Richard's crew, really significant to Austin.
She was a feminist leader and spirit community elder.
Yes.
And actually at the poetry tent for the Texas Book Festival, we did a memorial program to honor Susan Bright.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She saved the
That was
trees of Austin. She went to the council and said, look, you're saving the springs of Austin. That's great. But you don't understand. The trees are in love with the water, and the water is in love with the trees, as an alchemical wedding. You can't just save the water. You have to save the historic trees, the elder trees. So 28-inch diameter trees are now saved thanks to Susan Bright.
The live oaks. The live
Alive.
oaks and more. Still live.
True.
Thank you so much, Tom. You
thanks.
kind of took me down a memory lane, and I don't know if I typed the name of your venue correctly. You said something days.
Lazy Days. I'll
Where
type
was that? Lazy is it DAZE
of
or
course.
lazy?
Yes. Lazy, DAZE.
Head shop.
Yeah, head shop. 50.
Okay, I typed it. Yeah, great. Feel free to give us more info. It's in person, right? In Austin.
In person.
Okay.
You can buy a new head there.
Oh, we all need a new head, don't we? Oh, Thursdays. Here we go. Hang on. Just go retype. And that's a little. There we are, I think. Yep. Bingo.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Oh, it's in Manchaca. Okay, I thought it was in Guadalupe. Okay, got it. Okay. Great. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's good to know if anybody's doing a road trip and need a place to have a coffee and hear some poetry that'll twist your head inside and out. That's the place to be. I like to tell people when they're on a road trip and they stop in a town and they don't know anybody, look to see if there's an open mic, because the poets are always generous, and I've been to open mics where people go up on the stage and they say, hey, I'm just traveling through, I need a place to stay tonight, and then hands go up like, I've got a couch, come home with me. And yeah, I mean, it's and then I think also learning, you learn about the town, hearing the poets, the local poets do their work. Sometimes you get a little intimate behind the scenes look at some wheelings and dealings, political foibles, just what's a hot topic in the city, just listening to the poets at their open mics.
True.
Here we
I
go.
walked into an open mic and fallen in love.
Yeah, that's the idea.
I'll shut up.
No, don't shut up.
I put up a poet, and I think there were two guys that needed a place to stay. So they followed us to my place. I got them settled, and then I went out. People I just met, I said, okay, enjoy, help yourself to the things in the fridge, and I'll see you later. I'm going to hear live, So, I mean, that's Austin, that's Austin for sure.
It is.
And other places, I know. So I want to share a piece. This is because we kind of are a little skimpy on the poets lined up for tonight. So I'm going to fill some time with a piece. And it's a poem I wrote shortly after 9/11 in 2001. And I've been circling back to that work here of late because it's going to be the 20th anniversary of those fateful events that impacted us in the US and the world and other countries that we invaded, Afghanistan being one of them. And now we see how that dog is biting us, you know, in the rear as we're trying to retreat and withdraw from that country. So there's a lot of kind of spinning around, doing kind of, it's almost topsy-turvy in my mind. Like, okay, is this a circular history we're living? And still the people are suffering. That's the constant. The people are suffering. They were suffering before and they're suffering now. But today, less than 8 hours ago, my mother and I dropped off some non-perishable foods and some household goods because 27 Afghan families are arriving to live in Fort Worth in apartments right now. Half of the families have already arrived and they have nothing. But their lives, they have their lives and their memories and their hopes and their pain, of course. So yeah, it's just about 8 blocks up from where I live is the collection site for all the donations and people when we were there, and it was amazing what people were bringing in. There was a gentleman, he said he went to a Middle Eastern food store and he spent $400 of his $1,400 stimulus check on food for Afghan families. And you just want to cry, you just want to cheer, you just want to toss him up and catch him and toss him up in the air again, just celebrating the love and the generosity of people who, I mean, if we have the access to the imagery, watching on TV and computers of the suffering, it's so nice to resolve that in our hearts by having a place to put our love and our caring concern with like a real material way to help people. So if you live in DFW, if you're interested in the info, I can share it with you later, where to donate if you want to help support these 27 families. And one of the youngest person arriving here in Fort Worth is 17 days old.
Whoa.
And that little being, beautiful life, gets to call Texas, yeah, her home now. And I hope it's sometimes easy for me to know that Texans will give, you know, food, and they'll bring clothes and they'll bring bedding and linens and towels, but will they bring their hearts and their tolerance, their ability to accept folks who are culturally different? That's gonna be the tougher thing to give. And I really hope and pray for these families that their adjustment to living in North Texas is going to be as stress-free as possible. So that's in my heart right now as I read this poem, which I wrote just about a month after 9/11 happened. And what happened was I heard that there was a no-fly order and there were no planes in the air. Some of us are too young to maybe remember that. But there was one afternoon and I heard something in the air, and it was odd because it had been so silent except for birds. You didn't hear any planes flying over because of the ban, because we were kind of trying to secure the air and they had the skies above us. So there was that ban. And when I called 911, I said, I think I heard a helicopter. Is the ban over with? And the dispatcher says, I don't know nothing about no planes.
Texas, love it.
And then this is the poem I wrote. And it's got energy and it's got energy. So just letting you know, heads up, you have been warned. I hear helicopters fanning blades, spinning rotors, engines in the municipal sky. So where did these come from? It is almost a month since 9/11, and in the calm morning, a flying plane can dissipate my foggy tranquilization before coffee as coffee. So I reach all of a sudden for my things, must get dressed, want to hurry out and see who's invading airspace, who's thumping chest, flying low so loud on an otherwise impenetrable American Sunday. Them fuckers, it's the US military, I bet, with revenge fumes on the runway, impatient taps on the flugelhorn, enhanced artillery for some misery in the works in cahoots, gleam so black, stomp army boots. So I grab my all-terrain Nike Airstrike cross-training shoes, fitted with the 16-inch all-leather gunmetal gray plastic-tipped laces. I hoist my double-layer moisture-wicking reversible camouflage green-patterned REI desert pants to a tight close across my hips, double-checking the girth straps before expertly pocketing my super deluxe steel-bladed award-winning all-purpose Swiss Army knife. Before I leap for the door, because remember, I'm trying to catch a glimpse of the perpetrators, pilots in the sky, us or them, I tuck in my long-sleeved silk Ramy Blinn knit jersey, which boasts a handy zippered security pocket in the detachable all-weather rain hood, featuring the double-button panel as exhorted by Cindy Crawford on a January 1994 episode of her popular high-fashion MTV show with a name that just now escapes me. But wait, my computer's up, so let me quickly do a Just Ask Jeeves search. The name of that show, the name of that show. My Best Buy purchase soothes my curiosity. Its 1.8 gig processor kicking in to engage and drop me into a cyberspace portal on my 512 by 512 BPS direct line so that I can always have fingertip quick access to updated info installments about my consumer culture. I hear the planes above becoming a whisper, the chop of their blades becoming a flutter. Soon I must get out there so I can know, so I can see with my own eyes. Well, actually, be able to peer through my Christy Brinkley ultraviolet ray deflecting faux French Chinese-made sunglasses. Before I actually step out to the porch and then to the driveway to pinpoint the piloting aircraft disturbing my nation's peaceful stupor, trademark, I grab my cell phone, Nokia 540, and tuck a package of spearmint-flavored dentine, thirst-quenching, breath-saving, fluoride-enhanced chewing gum into my left front pleated pocket with the double-stitch Velcro closure. Everything finally on and in place, I step to the sky to look at the sky, and I see that I am my own enemy. I am flying that commercial aircraft or military copter that hurtles us towards uncivilization. My products and my purchases can no longer prepare nor protect me for the nightmare of my own doing. God help me.
Tammy, how is that possible?
How is it possible? How is what possible? Sorry, I need a drink.
That was quite a mouthful.
Just the obsession with stuff and material branded things, and that gets in the way of our true ascension towards truth and light and future possibility that actually allows us to touch just a tiny toes worth of our potential as human beings.
Yes.
Can we even get there, please? Can we even try to get there?
Yeah. We're here.
We're here. We are. Yeah. Yeah. The answer is yes. The answer is yes, of course.
To every question. Yes.
A toe's worth, toe's quantity of anything is possible.
Absolutely.
Beyond that, I don't know. Can we get the whole foot by the end of the century? I don't know. Thank you for listening. And let me see, hands up. Who wants to take a bio break? Hit the bathroom, refill a water glass. Do you want to do that? And then we'll come back with the featured poet. How's that?
Wow.
Sound good? Good. Okay. So I'm going to mute and see you in by 9 o'clock. That gives about 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes. Gracias. Stay tuned. Stick around. There's more.
Yay.
With this ring I'll thee wed, with all my worldly goods I thee endow. To love and to cherish according to God's holy ordinance. With this ring I thee wed, with all my worldly goods I thee endow.
Okay, I'm gonna resume the recording again. Anna, I don't know if you're here, but I wanted to let you know that I made a soup with some of the hatch chili peppers that you brought to me last week.
How did it come out?
It's good. And I'm glad I only put one. I'm so glad I only put one. So I still have the others.
Chicken.
Oh my
There's
God.
somebody calling you a chicken.
Who's calling me a chicken? Oh gosh. Yeah, I like to survive my meals. But it's basic veggies and then your roasted hatch chili peppers. Thank you.
Good, I'm glad. Yeah, they're really good.
Mm-hmm. So Anna, I'm sorry?
No, that's okay.
So Ana Maria's birthday was earlier this week. Belated Feliz cumpleaños, happy birthday. Actually, I gave you a before happy birthday because I got to see you on Sunday. Yeah, how was it? How did you celebrate the actual day? I know you went out to dinner on Sunday, but did you celebrate some more on the actual birthday? I know you work a lot, so maybe it wasn't
right.
possible.
I took the day off. I fell walking Beckett, my dog, and so.
Oh no!
But it was a blessing in disguise because I took the day off, and that was great. I didn't do anything. I just hung out at the house, and Andres made me a nice dinner, and it was great because I work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, so it was really nice. So yeah.
I'm sorry you fell, but sounds like you're okay.
I used arnica ointment and then arnica pills, and I kept taking them and I kept putting arnica on, and it's all better. It's still a little black and blue, but it looks a lot better. Still here.
Gosh.
Oh, it was all swollen and it was really, really bad.
How about Beckett? Did he fall, or did you fall on him?
No, he was so good. He just looked at me and said, "Mom, what's going on? Are you okay?" So because I walk him at dawn, so it's dark, and I was walking along the sidewalk, and you know those HOAs, they complain about everything, about the houses, the grass, how the trees are and everything, but they don't take care of the sidewalks. And so the sidewalk was, it had like a split like that, and I didn't see it, and I tripped.
Oh, so, no.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. You see him? There's Beckett.
Oh, he's out of view. I don't see him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Beckett.
He knew you were talking about him.
Yeah. He's like, "What are you saying, Mom?"
Yeah, now I see him. Yeah. Well, welcome back to everybody to this next section of Dando Vueltas, which is the theme for this month. But of course, when we have a featured poet, I tell them that they're not required to read to the theme. They just read from whatever they choose to read, and specifically to focus on published work that they've had out recently. We've celebrated a lot of new releases. That way we can know, who's releasing new work, and then celebrate that, that volume coming out, but also share information about how to buy copies or gift copies. In your case, Anna, you have been publishing a lot recently in different journals and anthologies. So I was hoping you could share about that and drop some titles and maybe give us some encouragement to also submit to journals if you feel like they would welcome work from others here tonight.
Okay, well, I basically, I joined Duotrope, but I don't pay for it. I just do the free part of it. And so I get a newsletter every month and I apply to anything like that they have. I send out, you know, my poetry. And then I also do Submittable. I have an account with them, and so I get a lot of stuff from them. And so I send out a lot of poetry through that as well. And I guess those are my main two sources that I use. And then usually what I do is if I like a poem that I've read, I look and see where it's published. And then I look at the publisher and I go and check out the publisher. And then I see, do they publish? Do they have a newsletter? When do they? And so I'm following a lot of publishers to see when they ask for poetry. A lot of them want people who have agents. So it's really tough if you don't have an agent, and I don't. It gets expensive, but you know, I try my best, and I do. I did get a call from someone who wanted to publish my manuscript in Spanish with this Spanish press, but I'm still thinking about it because then I would have to break it up, and I'm not sure I'm ready to do that yet. I really want to publish it in both English and Spanish. So I'm still, you know, I'm still thinking about it. I don't know. I thought maybe I would give myself to my birthday. And so my birthday's come and gone. So maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But that's basically it. I'll show you the things I'm reading, and they've all been published. All of them have been published in anthologies, except for one is online. This one is the first one I'm going to read to you. It's from Boundless 2021. It's from the Rio Grande. What? Oh, good. It's from the Rio Grande Valley. Let me do this. Hold on a second so I can tell you exactly where it is. It was published in Flower Song Press. I think we talked about it yesterday. Yeah. Last month. Someone had published in Flower Song Press, right? Wasn't that? Yes. Anyway, this is Boundless 2021, the anthology of the Rio Grande Valley International Poetry Festival. So I'm going to read, and that just came out about a month ago, maybe, something like that. I'm also going to read only in Spanish. And even though all the poems I have are both in English and Spanish. So if anyone wants to read the poem in Spanish, let me know and I will send it to you. Okay?
So you're gonna read in English, no?
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. I'm reading it in English. Sorry about that. Okay, the first one is called New Dawn Day. The wind chimes quelled with leaden silence. The stars shone glory in their pre-dawn dusk. My footsteps rustled, crunched the tumbled leaves briskly crackling beneath the overhanging eaves. The wolf dog sniffed the stillborn air, searching for their morning prey. Of course, he knew he had no chance of darting past, pouncing on that rabbit ambling o'er the trellis fast, or the squirrel scampering up the tree limb. The quiet of the morning air lay thick as fog descending, yet soon the sun would break its silent inkwell, would streak its loveliness in streams of joy and warmth, reminding me that even when day's toil is heavy plight, these morning walks are miracles that flaunt a new day's flight. That one is, of course, of my morning walk with Beckett. And it's a sonnet. I like sonnets a lot. And so it's a little sonnet. It was published at, also published in Terror House magazine, which is a journal out of Hungary. So that's also, they published a lot of my poetry, as well as publishing it in Boundless. Oh, and then the Spanish only was published in a journal in Venezuela called Letralia, Tierra de Letras. And I also have photographs with this, but I don't know how to do the photographs or anything, so I didn't do it. Huh? This is the photograph.
Do you have it on? If you have it on your screen, I can just let you share the screen on a. You want to try that?
Okay, it's here. It's. I have it. How do I share the screen?
I'll share the screen. I'll give you sharing power.
Okay. And this is showing it to you. Oh, there it is.
That's a different way to do it. That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, a helper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we done then? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That works. Okay. The next poem I wrote a few years ago, but it was just published. Yes.
Do you think Andres could mute? Is that possible or no?
No, I'm muted. I'm just next to you.
I see. Got it. True love. Got it.
This next poem was also published in Terror House in Hungary just this March.
Oh,
okay?
this is New Day Dawn. Okay. And then this is the next one.
No, it's like that. Okay, this is Labor Day. And this is also in Spanish and English. I'm only going to read the English. Sun streaming through the years of experience in an age of Neverland blues. Labor ravages forward, yet the music soars. Pedestals lie naked in Mount Coatepec, and green is our valley. The Anahuac wildman fiercely twirls tunes of yesterday's eclectic mix of sound. But the music's ethereal ecstasy hums unearthly. It winds wistful wisteria. It lulls a cadence that rises and falls. The inflection, the intonation that beats the rhythm and pulse. The lilt of the tempos up and down as it swings my pulse into fragile stride. Ihakatl softly caresses the tendrils at the nape of my neck, and I wipe a bead of sweat hesitating on my brow. My mind wanders. It lifts with the words the god of wind whispers into my ear, while I peer at the boys playing hopscotch along the trellis-bound garden. A beautiful indigenous wisp of a woman sits serenely, self-possessed, watching her boys at play, savoring the reverie of music, stolen from the ears of passers-by, the humming of the drums, the beat of the blue snake's heart, and the boys skipping 1, 2, 3, as the stones crevice and take me back to the Zompantli my daughter excavated underneath the hundreds of years of human misery. Civilizations built on the backs of the enslaved, migrations gone amok. Where are we going with our techno sounds, our buzzing centers, our smartphones, our technology unbound? I listen to his falsetto voice, rising up above the heavens, soothing the child jumping, catching his brother at play. I hear the change in rhythms as his air diminishes, as it alters, modifies, metamorphoses, and re-energizes into another dimension, into another sphere. So I sit back and I look at the boys. I see them take a breath in the hot, languid air. I watch the mother get up, erect, even as she calls for them. It is time to go. I see the pedestal, just a piece of rock, the trellis, Quetzalcoatl's garden built up, tended, and I realize that all is transitory. The music stops, the singing ends, the voices die. That's it. Quetzalcoatl's garden.
Well, that's it. It's not part of the poem, okay?
Okay. If you have any questions, let me know. Hi, Jess. My brother's here. My good friend Vanessa's here. So I'm very, very happy to see them. Okay, the next one I'm reading, I will read in both languages because it's very, very short. So one of the things I really stress when I'm writing poetry is the sound of the words, the sound of language. And it's very important to me in both languages. That's why I always say that, you know, it's never a translation, it's an interpretation, because I'm always playing with the sound. So this one I will read in both because it's very short. It's called He Unknown.
Oh, wait. That's a photograph of a mural in Memphis, Tennessee.
It's called I Am a Man, and it was done in 2014. It's a homage to the civil rights movement. It was done by Marcellus Loveless with BLK 75.
No, I said there must be whatever.
Anyway.
It's a mural.
I saw that mural. We were traveling across the country because we always go back and forth to visit my family in the East Coast. And so we went by Memphis and we saw this and I fell in love with this mural. So anyway, this poem is called He Unknown. Though he dwelt in loneliness, he was anchored in eternity. A stranger among men, he bore the nether regions of the sun. He was deep in waking dreams, overwhelmed by inner voices, and so he died. And that was published in, again, the journal in Venezuela, Letralia. It was published in Twist in Time Journal in 2020. It was published in Down in the Dirt magazine, Parallel Universe. I have that here somewhere. Oh, here it is. This one. And this one came out online and in print. And then it was also made into an anthology called Burning Bridges in January 2020. And in Spanish, El Desconocido. Aunque refugiado en la soledad, existía anclado a la eternidad. Un extraño entre hombres pintaba las regiones tenebrosas del sol. Profundo en sus sueños de vigilia, se hallaba abrumado por voces interiores. Y así murió. Thanks. If anybody has any questions, just let me know. Or if you want to wait till after. The next poem I'm going to read is called Guadalupe Blossoms. And this one I wrote for my sister, whom I love very much. Glorious, the white wings of the angel graced me. They dazzled me, the feathered winglets hovering over me, fawning me softly, charmingly touching my eyes with silken fleece. I felt the strong, powerful pull of their touch trickling me softly, making me shiver. I knelt down and smelled the flower, a soft scent of lavender and rose, Guadalupe blossoms in the girdle of a virgin's hopes. Still, the vision disappeared, effervescence yet dissolved. But her scent, that lovely smell of juniper and roses, loops my thoughts around her, and though her wings have vanished, her essence lingers on. That was published by Main Street Rag. I think Andres showed you the journal. We had quite a going back and forth about the translation into English and into Spanish, because the editor wanted me to change one word, and I kept trying to tell her about the words and what it was an interpretation, not a translation, and we kept going back and forth. So that was a very interesting correspondence with this editor, but I finally got it published.
Wow. And you're the author, you wrote it.
Yeah.
I tell you something.
Yeah, she was driving me nuts.
Okay, maybe I won't submit to that. Where is that located?
Well, I think it was just that she felt like she knew Spanish, and so she wanted to just say, oh, no, you have to change this. So that was the whole thing. She just wanted to show her superiority in the language, and that she knew both languages very well. So it was just this back and forth. But anyway.
Oh gosh.
It was
Ana Maria,
interesting.
I have a question. There's someone named Andres Pacheco who's trying to be admitted to the Zoom. Who is that?
Oh, that's my son.
Okay. All right. Y'all are confusing me, but I can figure it out. Thank you. That helps. I'm like, he's
That's
here
my
already.
son. My husband is here. It must be my son.
Oh, well, I think he went away. So maybe Andres, you could text him to ask him to try. Tell him to try again, because maybe he gave up.
Yeah.
He only waited momentarily. And then we'll wait. Can you hold on sharing your next poem until he arrives, Anna?
Okay.
That way he gets to hear a full poem.
Okay, great. Okay, let me show the
book.
the next one is, where is it? What'd you do with it? What'd you do with the book?
What book?
You took them. This next one was published in American Writers Review 2020. Do you see it? There we go. And it is It also published my photograph
Wow,
there too.
that's great.
Yeah, Andres can see it. He can show it better from there instead of from the book. Okay.
El crepúsculo.
And this is from San Fidel Press. I guess I should start. Is Andy in?
Todavía no.
No?
Si quieres empezar, just go for it.
Yeah, because he might not be back. He might have given up. He doesn't have too much patience. Okay. This is called Of Thorn and Bristles. And again, it's another sonnet. I kind of want to, I kind of was playing with Shakespeare, I guess, with his love of eternity and words. So this is for Shakespeare. Of Thorn and Bristles. Those letters you wrote me, I imagined in their green and yellow envelopes wrapped in ribbon coated red, stacked full, bursting, filled with scribbles, artwork of our love, our commiseration, yet ousted into solitary snows of yesteryear. They remained an elusive memory of, no, I will never stain my recollection of those ink-bled hands with anything of clouded skies, of darkened bark, of thorn and bristles. That was not death, nor snow, nor winter, not leaves forlorn with autumn's night, but love's translucent missives echoing in the whispering winds, a brightened hope eclipsed in words transcending time. And these are all in Spanish.
Bravo. Nice.
Camila.
And he's here now. Your son is here.
Camila just wants to get in. Tell her to get in. Is my daughter trying to get in?
Todavía no, but yeah, Andy's here.
Andy's there? Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
And Camila just wrote me.
Oh, well, no.
So write her in the farm.
So you've got some comments in the chat, Anna, if you want to look at those.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Getting some compliments.
Oh, language of the soul. I love it.
You know, I tend to ignore Shakespeare or anything because I feel like he's got plenty of followers and readers. But I do, you know, I heard something on NPR today. It was on that show, This American Life, and it was a beautiful, beautiful program about a prison project where some of the prisoners got to rehearse and act out one of the scenes from Hamlet. It was a really remarkable program. If you can catch the episode, if it airs again, I would highly suggest. It's such a beautiful program looking at that particular project in the prison in Missouri. So your poem reminded me of that. This love of Shakespeare is eternal, you know.
Yeah.
But
and that's why I was playing with that, and it just reminded me of it. So whenever I think of it, I just think of Shakespeare and his sonnets. So okay, let me read my next.
And I think all your family's here now.
I think my one daughter is missing, Sophia, but everybody else is, and my best friend Vanessa's here. So it's very exciting. And my brother Jesse's here.
So. Oh, we're all cozy here. Cozy with you.
That's what I'm going
Please.
to. Okay, the next one is also a sonnet, and I have two more, I think. That's it. So I will read this one in English, and then the last one, I don't know if you want me to read this one in both languages or if you want me to just read it in English. What do you think? It's a sonnet. I'll read it in English only.
Read both. Read both. We love the Spanish too, for sure.
Okay. All right. This one
Please.
sounds really nice in Spanish too. Okay, this is called Northward Bound, and this is for all the mothers, the asylum seekers who come looking for new hope. And I dedicate them, I dedicate this always to them, to those mothers. Northward Bound, darkness with light. It approaches surreptitiously, creeping red across the skies, littered white and blue and gray. Its beauty threatened by unruly nightfall, darkness making black its king. There dreamed a starless sky, littered with catastrophic clouds as wolves howl at the reverie of moon. Blue sunsets spill their purpled vanity against the round globe, smearing shadow twilight to its mountain greens. But the darkness of destruction past does not seem to settle on the tired smiles of weathered women walking to a beaconed light, searching for a piece of heaven, waiting for salvation in the prayers offered by their seasoned hopes, holding out a candle to guide their threatened path. This photograph is of the Mississippi River, cruzando el río.
Yeah, the Rio Grande is much smaller.
Yeah, wasn't there. I wasn't there. And these poems were published in Poets Facing the Wall by the Ravenbrook Press in the Rio Grande again. I have a special affinity with the poets down at the Rio Grande. And then it was also, I also had it at an art exhibit in New York City, Reframing Immigration at the Northern Manhattan Coalition for Immigration Rights. And it was subsequently sold to get money for the Northern Manhattan Coalition for Immigration Rights. So that was really nice. Hacia el norte. Oscuridad con luz, se acerca silencioso un rojo arrastrando el cielo cubierto de blanco, azul y gris. Su belleza amenaza un anochecer rebelde, su oscuridad la negrura hace rey. Se sueña un cielo sin estrellas, plagado de nubes catastróficas como lobos que aúllan la quimera de una luna llena. Las puestas de sol azules derraman su vanidad violeta contra el claro globo, untando su sombra crepuscular a sus frondosas montañas verdes. Pero la oscuridad de la pasada destrucción no se fija en las cansadas risas de mujeres desgastadas, caminando hacia la luz del norte, buscando una paz del cielo, esperando salvación en oraciones ofrecidas por viejas esperanzas, sosteniendo una vela para guiar ese camino desafiado aún. Okay, thank you. Okay, and this last poem was published in Frontera, a journal in Spain, from Spain. And this was also published bilingually. And then it was also published, this was in 2017, and then it was published again in Wild Roof Journal in 2020, September 2020. And this is going to be the last poem I read. I don't know if you want to hear it in both languages, but this is one of the things I always struggle with, the whole conflict of language and being trapped with two languages at once, being part of two languages, two cultures, two identities, and not knowing what's what. But I think somehow conflict, I think I come out with an answer. Anyway, this is called conflict. Trapped between two languages, I feel as if I were no one. I understand that language may romance me, its escalating rhythm, its ardent nectar. Words that are understood but so little known indeed seduce me. Their musical sounds dance with me, fly on high, hide among the sighs, the sleights of hand, the solitary snubs. But when I speak, still I do not understand the possessive disorder of my other tongue. Those words that are so different, not my own, words that choke me through two confounded languages. The more sober one always excels, that one knight errant, the masculine aggressive yin of that other, the foreign language that until recently I thought was mine. But it is not, because with sweet lyrics, passionate, instinctual, the rhythm of the tongue is peerless, and my language is the mother where I was born. Thank you. I don't know if you want to hear it in Spanish.
Oh, please, please. I love that last line. I need to hear it in Spanish.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Atrapada entre dos idiomas me siento nadie. Entiendo que me quiera traer el romance de la lengua, su ritmo escalante, su sabrosura ardiente. Las palabras entendidas y tan poco conocidas también me seducen. Y el sonido musical me baila, vuela alto, se esconde entre los suspiros y desaires solitarios. Pero cuando hablo aún no entiendo el desorden posesivo de mi otra lengua, esas palabras que son otras, no las mías, que me ahorcan a través de dos idiomas confundidos. Siempre sobresale el más sobrio, el más andante, el son masculino y agresivo de ese otro, el idioma ajeno que hasta poco creía yo que era el mío, pero no lo es, porque con palabras dulces, apasionadas e instintivas, el ritmo de la lengua es único y mi idioma es la madre en donde yo nací. Thank you.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your hard work. You're really pushing your poetry, and I'm so happy for you that you're finding the path to do that. The administrative end of things, being a poet can be so unsexy and not fun, but it's so important if you want to share your work to the world, with the world. Yeah, do you want to unmute? Please, let's feel free to verbally share your comments and give kudos to Ana Maria Fores Tamayo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, these books kill insects quickly.
If you want to know of any of the books, I will let you know. It's hard. It's hard, you know. I'd like to get all my poetry published in one book, you know, but that's been the tough thing. But you know, we keep at it. We all do, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And if any of us have ideas or suggestions, we should share them with Anna. Anna, you wanted to how we can reach you, how folks can get in touch with you if they want.
Yeah, let me put my email. Hold on.
Thank you.
Yeah, email is the best because I'm only on Facebook on Sunday since I work every day so much right now. So how come it's not going?
Okay.
Oh wait, this is
Aquí,
no. I want to everyone. There we
Everyone.
go. There we go.
Oh, great. Let me save that. Save. It's my favorite button.
And I'm also on Twitter and on Instagram, although I don't use Instagram very much, and Facebook, but I never go on Facebook except on Sundays. So
Tammy, you're muted.
So your poem, Anna, I Am a Man, and the image that went with that reminded me of this American performance artist, Dred Scott. And his name is an allusion to the court case. And he did a performance where he just walked around with that sign around his neck, I am not a man, just to kind of put forward the idea that as a Black male in the US, he's not often regarded as an equal. So I wonder if that image that you saw is actually a comment on Dred Scott's performance. So that would be interesting to find out if there's a connection to the performance.
The image was from the 1960s. That mural in the 1960s. It was during the civil rights, and it was done then.
Oh yes, that's right. So so his performance is a comment on that, I guess, maybe indicating that things hadn't changed that much.
By Marcellus Lovelace. Oh, and he did it with another artist called BLK 75. That's what it was. And he named it I Am a Man, Memphis 2014.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it was. Oh, actually, if it's in 2014, this is to the civil rights, but it was done in 2014. When was that one done?
I think he was doing the performance in around 2009.
Oh, so maybe that was before, yeah. Because this says, I have 2014 on here.
I love learning about how works of art communicate with each other across time and across, continental spaces. That's interesting to me. Thank you so much, Anna, and I hope any of your family want to speak or give a little, a little verbal aplauso. You're welcome to do that. Give a shout out. You'll be in the recording. And thank you, Paul. You're telling us Thimble Literary Journal is an online and print publication open for submissions. Okay, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. If you have a web link or a what do you call it? Instagram. If they're on Instagram, that would be great if you could share that. Also, yeah.
Oh, if anyone, I always come from the Bay Area to listen, and if anyone is interested, I'm actually typing this in as I talk, in hearing lots of poetry by people from right where I live in the East Bay of the San Francisco Bay. There's an online festival that's usually in person, and it's going to be over Labor Day weekend for like 2.5 days. And so I'm going to put a link in here, just to, if you copy it, maybe you'll think of it. I'm hosting one of the, oh my gosh, it's like about 8-hour-long readings a day with some music in between, and I'm hosting one of them on that Sunday. But there's just so many different different kinds of, so I'll put that up in a second. Just wanted to say what I was going to put up.
Oh, so that's coming up in like 2 weeks or so, and so we won't have another Dando before then. So
yeah, that's why I'm putting it on.
I definitely want to attend your segment. That's awesome.
My segment is called a queer perspective segment. It's called #we. Though I'm actually reading myself in collapse press. It doesn't matter that much.
It will once we veer in close. It will once we veer in close. Everything matters the closer we get to it, of course.
I know, right? So there's that. It's called the Beast Crawl.
Awesome. Thank you. And then there's a hybrid festival in Waco in October. Cool. Beast Crawl. Love it. And I'm going to share screen since we're on the subject of sharing about gatherings for writers. I've been working as a volunteer for this organization, putting together the second annual Latinx Writers Gathering. It's a national Latinx Writers Gathering happening October 14th through 17th. It is going to be pretty remarkable. The very first one just blew me away. I sat my butt in front of a computer for 16 hours over 3 days, and I loved every second of it. So I was on the volunteer programming committee this year to try to see if we could make it even a little bit cooler and amazing and inclusive. So if you identify as Latinx in any form or fashion, you're welcome to register and attend. Thank you. This has been wonderful.
Too, Tammy, can you put a link to that on here too?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. I know it was just on the screen, but I didn't manage to type it.
There we go. No problem.
I'll put it on my Facebook because there's lots of people around here that might be interested, or people I know.
Yeah, the registration, early bird registration is $80 through the end of August. And there are some scholarship opportunities, but it's best to email in sooner than later if folks want to try to get a scholarship for that.
So registration for actually taking part in it and reading and speaking, or just attending?
Attending. Yep. Yeah, it's and it's a 4-day online conference, or workshops and presentations and virtual dinners and meetups and stuff, all the stuff. Alice wanted to share a visual. I don't know if Alice, you have it on your screen, and then on your computer screen, and then I could give you the power to share your screen. Do you want to try that?
I'm on a phone, so a way to put it on a phone somehow.
Do you want to tell us about it and then maybe post it on the Facebook event page in a little while? We could go there and look at it.
I think that some of the images I've heard mention that connect. Anna has wolves here. From there, anyway, hopefully we are having sort of conversation. Oh.
Oh my God, don't let that canvas crush you. I can't come help you. Alice, there's so much dropout. I'm not able to hear much of what you're saying, unfortunately, because of the connection. But feel free to share the image if you want, even just here in a few minutes on the Facebook event page. And or if you have it scanned as an you can send it as an attachment here. Beatriz, thank you for coming. Thank you to all for all your attention and loving attendance and your ways of participating with gestures or laughter. It's all great, and I feel fully fed sitting here next to you, each of you. Does anyone have a need to unmute and share some closing comments or give another announcement? Now's an opportunity for that.
Just want to thank you, Tammy, for doing this. It really, really works as an online community of consenting individuals.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Thank you to Tammy and to everyone for allowing me to share and be a part of this. You know, and as we enter these strange times again, you know, it's nice to have some place to be with like-minded folks and that we can share and encourage one another and cheer each other on. So thank you so much for having me, Tammy. Appreciate it.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, it's always good to hear.
Yeah.
You were terrific, Rob.
Thank you, Paul. You and I need to get together sometime and break bread.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Sooner rather than later. And thank you to Tom Shirt. I love you.
Your shirt too. Yeah. Wonderful. Long live art.
Long live Austin, Texas.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Oh, I'm missing. I want to drop in all the open mics when I'm in Austin, when it's possible, please, Tom. So I'm sure I'll be looking for you in less than a year, I hope.
Wonderful, wonderful. Your other home, always.
You know,
it is. It really is. Part of my heart is still there.
Melody, I wanted to share with Tom that you know, I'm a musician also, and all the shows that I've played there in Austin have been at a place called the Saxon Pub on Lamar.
Oh yeah, yeah, famous.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's a live living Austin heritage.
That's my home away from home venue, so I love Austin.
Excellent. Come back and play.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Thanks to all the poets who read tonight. I really appreciate your efforts and to, you know, for you being so committed to literary art. That's really beautiful, even though it's often unsung, greatly unsung, and often unpublished. So I really appreciate y'all honoring literature here with me once a month. Coming up in September, we have Joe Reyes Boytell, who's going to be our featured poet. Joe Reyes is from San Antonio, but will be moving to the Rio Grande Valley because she's starting an MFA program down in McAllen, Edinburgh. And that's super exciting. And we're going to have other poets, Rob Vasquez and Marie Timbressa, also reading. So if you have anyone to suggest, somebody who hasn't read for us, who is an ally to you and whose work you enjoy and appreciate, feel free to send me a message and let me know how to reach them, because I'm always trying to branch out and learn of new voices across the states and beyond. Thank you to the poets who read. Again, you know, just by name, Rob and Paul and Anna and Tom. Thank you so much for your effort and time here with us tonight. Also want to announce in November, we're going to try a hybrid event because that'll be our first anniversary for DANDO, and it's going to be at the Arts Fifth Avenue, which is about a 5-minute bike ride from where I live. I just got confirmation that November 20th, on that Saturday before Thanksgiving, we can hold our in-person live event, which will also be streamed via internet. So look forward to that.
November 20th.
November 20th.
La Revolución Mexicana. November 20th.
Okay, we have some.
It's a big deal. It's not just before Thanksgiving. Pancho
Okay.
Villa, Zapata, come on.
Thank you
Viva
again,
Zapata.
everyone.
Yeah, I gotta run. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Everybody
Thank you
have-
for sharing about the festival, and I will share the chat in the Facebook group. So we have a Facebook group, the Dando Poets Facebook group, if you want to join that, and we share information about these events and related such things.
Tammy, when will the live poetry reading next month be? At what time would it be?
The one in September?
Yeah, the one that's going to be live.
Was in November.
It'll be the same. It'll be the same. 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay, I think.
Yes.
No, pero es November 20, the one that's in Central. No, but the one that's gonna be at that place in Fifth Avenue is November 20th, right?
Whatever the third Saturday is, I
Right,
think it's the
okay.
20th. I don't remember.
Yeah, because I'm trying
Because
to,
this series happens on the third Saturday.
right. I was just trying to see if I can make it because of work. Because this is great doing it online because I can just, right after work, I just get off and.
I'm gonna stop recording now. So there we go. Okay.